morning. This is Dr. Erika Jasper reporting live for LakeFront TV. I'm here with the Leesburg CDC for their first groundbreaking here in the Carver Heights community. We're so excited about this opportunity, and we invite you to come along and see what's going on in Leesburg. They're going to build 4 new houses for 4 potential residents in this community. We're excited, so let's go see what's going to happen.
Excited about this opportunity to bring home ownership and to Leesburg, and specifically Carver Heights of Leesburg. We do have some people here today that we want to recognize. First, I'd like to recognize the Board of Directors of the Community Development Corporation. Our Vice Chair, Ms. Carolyn Samuels, please raise your hand. Our Treasurer, Mr. Jerome Marshall. Our Secretary, Ms. Betty Stevens-Coney. Board Member Sonia Sanders. My wife, Board Member Connie Christian, Board Member Wanakee Miller, Board Member Danny Richardson, and coming in Board Member Martinez McDuffie. Did I miss anybody? We do have some distinguished guests with us, and I'm going to introduce them. Our city manager is here, Mr. Al Minarese. He's sitting in the back of the room. We have the West Leesburg CDC Chairman, Mr. Fred Griffin. Also playing a dual role with the gentleman in the Burgundy shirt, the Sophisticated Gents of the Villages in Lake, Sumter, and Marion County. And the president, Mr. Vernon Haley, is the president. We also have our Leesburg City Commissioner for District 1, Commissioner Allison Berry, is with us. And the lady that probably called everyone, Ms. Joyce Jones, the Secretary of the Community Development Corporation. Raise your hand, Ms. Jones. I'm sorry, Dr. Erika Jasper is in the back. She's also a CDC board member. Talking to our housing director, Ms. Sandra Wilson, our housing director, City of Leesburg. Our fire chief and deputy chief is with us, Chief Mara. Our solid waste director, Mr. Steve Llewellyn. I call him all the time for a dumpster delivered, picked up, put back. Mr. Cliff Kelsey is our public works director. Our police chief, Chief Rob Hicks. And Mr. Tim Bridges for Lake Community Action Aid. I didn't recognize you, Tim. Son in my eyes. Former city commissioner, CFO of Romite Lumber, Mr. Dan Roebuck. Also, we have some West Leesburg CDC board members, Linda Mobley. Did I miss anyone? And right, my friend right here on the front, say your name. Oh, Marta, come on, Marta. Marta, Homes and Partnership. I'm the treasurer of the Board of Homes and Partnership, so I'm supposed to know her. And Tracy Hodge for the City of Leesburg. We thank you for being with us today, and we're gonna not belong to time because we're excited about this opportunity. We want to just thank the Hood family and Ms. King, Pam King, who actually sold this property to the CDC about 3 years ago, and Mr. Hood had it for a very long time. So we thank him for entrusting his daughter for entrusting the CDC to bring home ownership in the Carver Heights, and we told her we would provide home ownership. So it's kind of exciting for us to fulfill that commitment to the Hood family. This property's been vacant for a very long time, and I'm excited. If you see what's happening just in Carver, this one block of Carver Heights, you got development to our left. Our church, Chris Hurston, is building that house on the right, where the blocks are. We thought they'd be out working today. The CDC owns 3 lots here, and actually 2 lots on that corner. And before you leave, one thing about home ownership, if you go on that lot, which I personally cut myself, you will see all the debris, all the beer bottles, liquor bottles that are literally on that property. What home ownership does, it will eradicate and not allow people to throw trash in our neighborhoods that we have to pick up. So a new home gets rid of that. We don't have to worry about the city code enforcement because we now will have a family that will maintain this property. So that's one of the reasons we are excited about doing this in Carver Heights, because we know the problem that exists in this community, and we believe that we are removing blight at an expedient area. Homes and Partnership has actually 2 houses, one being built on Miss Paul and one on Tuskegee. So they're actually under construction right now. Rough plumbing is going in. So there's a lot of activity going on in Carver Heights. And what's good about it is the interior of our city that's often overlooked for redevelopment. So we are very excited about that opportunity. At this time, we're going to have an invocation and pledge of allegiance from Pastor Connie Christian, board member of the CDC of Leesburg. And I'm going to do some very important people later. Pastor Connie's coming.
Most gracious and heavenly Father, we thank thee, O Lord, We thank you for this beautiful day in which you've made, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it. We thank you for this occasion. We thank you for the Leesburg Community Development Corporation. We thank you for the leadership of Pastor John Christian. We thank you for every board member who thought it not robbery to take time to bring their brilliant minds together to invest and make sure that Leesburg continues to be the great city that it is. We ask that your blessings be upon these grounds. We ask that you continue to shine your light in the Carver Heights community, and we ask that you continue to bless every citizen of this community and greater Leesburg. In this we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would be remiss if I didn't do it now, but our builder that's back to building a home for the CDC, Mr. Jerome Wilson from Jerome Masonry. Raise your hand, Mr. Wilson. He's in the back. Jerome's a stickler for neatness, and he fusses when at Road Mike Lumber, who's our building supplier. The house we were building a couple houses ago, I was new to the game, so trusses were on back order. So I called Don McGrew. I said, Don, I don't know. I'm new to this, man. I need trusses. They were telling me the trusses we were starting in May. Trusses wouldn't be delivered till February. And Jerome said, I need the trusses in May. So I begged, I pleaded, and they delivered the trusses early, and Jerome stopped fussing. The trusses too early. I said, man, we got trusses. Thank God we got trusses. So Road Mike Lumber is our building supply. We thank Dan and Don and Henry at the Trust Plant for always looking out for us. And we thank them for just being a local good builder. Commissioner Mike Peterson showed up. Commissioner Mike Peterson, we thank God for him being with us. At this time, we have greetings from the city of Leesburg. First, the City Commissioner, District 1, Allison Berry. Following her will be greetings from our city manager, Mr. Al Minner. And then we got some special greetings from Ms. Carolyn Samuel, CDC Charter Board member. I grew up in Carver Heights. The importance of home ownership and reduction of crime, Chief Rob Hicks. Leesburg is better because of what's happening today. Charter Board member Betty Stevens Coney, in that order, please. Let's give a round of applause to Ms. Allison Berry, Commissioner, District 1.
Good morning. How wonderful to see your smiling faces. This is another success for the Leesburg Community Development by the leadership of Pastor John Christian. I am very proud to see the determination, the commitment, and accomplishment. This is a very positive move for Carver Heights, my community, as well as the city of Leesburg. It is a prime example of what we can accomplish when we work together. Work together, build together. And we look forward to many more collaborations and development. Congratulations, Leesburg CDC, and thank you.
City, it's a pleasure to be here. I think it's been said a couple of different times today by Commissioner Berry and Pastor Christian about the importance of redevelopment. The funny thing is little stuff always does seem to get overlooked. We put a lot of attention into the big pieces, but the little stuff is really what gets done. And a core block of redevelopment is infill housing. Taking that existing stock, investing in it, and creating new pieces of infrastructure, new homes in an existing area. And that's probably the best way to redevelop. So these are great examples. I'm proud to be part of the city and have our partnerships with the CDC and different organizations around the community. And then we get to these type of projects. It's always fun to see stuff come together. So congratulate the CDC and look forward to another project, John.
Well, Miss Joyce asked me when I came in, did you grow up in Carver Heights? Well, my mother and father built a house after I went to college, and I came back and forth. But I grew up in Leesburg. But anyway, this is a great day for the neighborhood. We are building houses for people to purchase as homeowners and to move into this wonderful part of our city. My mother and father, Curtis and Laura Coulter, built a house in the neighborhood after I graduated and went to college. However, I came home to visit, and I married my husband in the house on Beecher Street, across from Carver Middle. My father built many houses in the Woodlawn Park subdivision. So as you can see, I am familiar with this area, and I am proud to have lived and attended a school in this neighborhood. Today I am proud because the CDC of Leesburg is showing that the need is great for better and additional housing in this area. With that vision of the CDC, we are making it happen. We thank Pastor John Christian for leading the CDC board in these wonderful and needed projects. We also thank our city commissioners and Mr. Al Mena and our mayor with helping us to further the vision with awarding vacant properties that will someday become places of deserving citizens to live. I am proud to be a part of the history of this history revealing moment. I believe that if we keep trying to upgrade this community with the opportunity for home ownership and better living conditions, our city and the Carver Heights neighborhood can only be a place where people will want to come to live and to be a part. Thank you.
Pastor Christian asked me to come up and speak a little bit about home ownership and its impact on crime and blight in different communities. That is something that we touch on and we research. So even last summer, I was fortunate enough to go to the Police Executive Research Forum. And what that is, it's a think tank made up by academics. It's not police officers. It's professors from Harvard and MIT and a lot of other Ivy League schools. We don't address the issue of crime in any municipality or any city without looking at the impact of home ownership, what neighborhoods look like, social policies. All of those things are kind of blended in. You can't have that conversation without looking at the structure of what the neighborhoods look like. I was just having a conversation a minute ago about 25 years ago on the East End, what that looked like, dirt floor shacks and all kinds of things. And when I was a young police officer, a much thinner police officer, Martina's laughing, when I used to actually be able to chase people down, I was chasing a lot, and I stayed skinny because I was running all the time every time I'd come on shift, right? And so there were lots of crime. There was a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, a lot of things going on. And then a major shift happened. A major change happened coming in from settlement and just other things happening. The CDC coming in and changing the face of that neighborhood. Night and day difference with the amount of calls for service we were receiving going to the neighborhoods. Not just routine patrol, but being called in, right? And so not only is there an academic and a well-researched foundation saying that if you own a home, the property is going to be taken care of, there is going to be less crime. I looked at a study from Columbia University, and you can go on the Urban Institute and look at a few others. They talk about gun crimes going down 20% in a year in a neighborhood that switches over and transitions. And what Mr. Minner said about the infill, when you're transitioning into using properties like this or renovating older properties and then becoming ownership, that's a significant drop in crime. You can't do that in any other way. There's no other one thing that's going to get that reduction in crime. So I'm an advocate for all the things that are happening here in Leesburg. You know, I've been here almost 30 years, and I'm excited. One of the things I say when I eventually do retire, which is not anytime soon, is that I want people to say when I go, I was the police chief in Leesburg, to say, oh, you're in that quiet little town that nothing's going on. And then I'm going to say, yes, that's the police chief I was. So I thank you for inviting me up here, and this is a great thing, and good luck. God bless.
I've been warned already that the sun is not participating with us. You can't read your stuff So pardon my slight back here. I remember when I was a little girl growing up in Leesburg. I grew up in one of the row houses on Parker Street in Leesburg. And I remember this neighborhood being developed then. You could buy a lot for $50 in this area. Yeah, that was when dinosaurs walked the earth, actually. So, first, and it has been done already, I want to compliment our magnificent leaders for the tremendous place we find ourselves in this beautiful lakefront city of Leesburg today. And of course they've been addressed, but because they are so magnificent and we're so proud of them, we want to recognize them every time we get the opportunity. And they are our tremendous mayor as well as our commissioners. And of course, the mover, shaker, man who makes it all happen, Al Minner, city manager. All right. And we love Al so much. Can we give him a standing ovation, please? All right. As well as our commissioners. And don't you know there is one among us, the history-making man himself, one who needs no introduction, but must be given his due recognition, honor, place, and gratitude for the hard work for the people of Leesburg. 5 times Mayor, Pastor John Christian. Will you stand in honor of Pastor John is the distinguished chairperson of the Board of Directors, Community Development Corporation and Vicinity, Inc. So the question must be asked, how did we get to the place where we are today? Well, it's simple. There are 3 reasons relative to how we got to this place today that are symbolic. It's a symbolic transaction of what we're doing today on Harlem Avenue. It is because of 2 historic things. There was a groundbreaking of history in 1996-97 through a signed decree declaring that these kind of days, events, occasions, and or milestones would be forthcoming, where all men and women of all colors, races, cultures, ethnicities must come together for the common good of all citizens of the city of Leesburg. And today is a perfect example. Number 2, how did we get to this place? Let's use the word, and there's just one word, and we want to use the noun form of the word. And that one word is seeing, to see. To further extrapolate or to interrogate the word seeing, we get the word vision, which is seeing the future before it happens. Next, our community leaders have selfless insight, which is to have an understanding and feelings of and for the needs of the people, the situation, and speak and advocate on the part of the people. Our heroic leaders have foresight as well, which is being able to predict what our community needs, what our community needs are, and to benefit from them now and in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just elicited for you the ways in which this transaction is taking place today on Harlem Avenue. The greatness of a community is accurately measured by the compassion actions of its leaders and members. And remember, he said, for as much as you do it to the least of mine, you do it unto me. When we, as decision makers, negate to act on behalf of the basic needs of our people, whether it is from the least to the most valuable or costly, whether it fits into the comfort level of the individual or not, we then must ask ourselves, WWJD. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, I am a proud member of the Community Development Corporation and Vicinity of Leesburg, Inc. As a matter of fact, no brag, just fact, I happen to be a founding charter member. Thank you so much.
City Manager Al Minner and Commissioner Allison Berry. We almost there. Commissioner Leslie Campion, our county commissioner, is en route. She do not hold the process up for me. But I want to say a couple things. When Dan Roebuck, you probably want me to tell the story. When Dan getting ready to become a city commissioner, Dan called me. He says, John, he says, let's go to breakfast. We ended up going to Wolfish. He says, John, he says, I need you to explain to me. I grew up privileged in a privileged house, and you need to explain to me, why should we give people down payment assistance? I appreciate that so much from him because he was willing to ask a question and learn. Dan became one of the biggest advocates with me on providing affordable housing opportunities in the city of Leesburg. And I think it's a tremendous opportunity for us to tell him thank you for being that leader for affordable housing. Now, I knew Don McGrew because Don McGrew and I talked 20 years ago about affordable housing. And he was CEO, and Dan came back from college, so I'm sure he and Don had many conversations. But Dan really wanted to know, why should we give people down payment assistance? Chief talked about the east side of town when the CDC settlement happened with the city on McNamee, on Bisbee, Magnolia, Indiana, Parker. It was wood frame houses. Even some houses had outhouses, and that was in 1997. So the CDC purchased those properties from the Webster family, and with the settlement funds, we partnered with Homes in Partnership, and they tore down like 52 houses, wood frame houses. Can you believe it? And 1998, people living in wood frame houses with outhouses in the back, and we replaced it with 32 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes. At those times, those homes were selling for $85,000. I could probably tell you every person who bought a house in that neighborhood, because I walked and worked with them to help them. 3 of my church members are homeowners in that neighborhood. They still live there. My assistant lives there. They're about 15, 16 years, so that means they're halfway finished paying for their homes. One of my praise and worship leaders, she's here, Nakia Miles, raise your hand. She bought a home in Carver Heights probably 15 years ago. So she prides herself and said, I'm halfway finished paying for my house. And she's happy, and no matter what people tell you about Carver Heights, she only had, I think, in 50 years, one incident in her home where neighbors little kids did some damage. But other than that, no problems. So we have to remove the stigma for Carver Heights, that it's a place where people do want to live. As you can see by the construction, that house that our church is building, someone already wants to buy. They already said, Pastor John, I'm going through my down payment classes. I'm ready to buy. So that house is pretty much already sold. So we're excited. Let me tell the city what you do. How do we do this? This house we paid cash, no loan, cash money. How do we do it? The city of Leesburg gave us a house on Floridale about 3 years ago. In fact, that's when I first met Mr. Jerome Wilson, because he was the one who remodeled the house for us. The house, we had a contract on it, title work issues, that fell through. Another contract, we finally got the title work settled. Now, the city should have gave me a clear title. They did not. So with a $24,000 settlement with a third person that laid claim to the property, we finally now have a clear title. It's on the market. So our board has agreed to take the proceeds from the house that was given to us by the city with $105,000 remodel costs. When we sell the house, we're going to pay for this first house, And that's where the partnership with the city of Leesburg comes to nonprofit organizations to pay it forward. We didn't get raises. We didn't do anything extravagant. We're going to put it back in the community of Carver Heights, build a house. My builder said, John, build 3 at one time. Well, if Al gives me 3 houses, I can remodel and sell them. We can build 3 at a time. So that's a hint to the city. Any house you have, the CDC is willing and ready to remodel them. And the lot on the other side was donated to the CDC by Habitat for Humanity. They donate the lot. That's 6 lots they gave to the CDC, and we're going to build houses in Carver Heights. And so that's the partnership we have with other nonprofits. We're not in competition. We believe that if the Homes and Partnership builds, this is my goal. This is my goal, Al. If Homes and Partnership builds 6 houses a year in Carver Heights, CWC builds 3 houses a year in Carver Heights, the CDC builds 3 houses a year in Carver Heights, West Leesburg CDC builds 2 houses a year in Carver Heights. So now in 3 years, we'll have 45 houses built in Carver Heights. Imagine 45 new houses built in Carver Heights, and we work together, and that's where partnership works. And we thank the city of Leesburg for making it happen. Your direct public works director, thank you, Cliff. I called Cliff, and our first house that the church built, man, I was upside down. I said, Cliff, we need water. We need an easement from the county. And Cliff's famous word was, no problem, that's easy. He made me feel so good because I was like, man, I need to hurry up. So we thank Cliff for helping us, Steve Llewellyn, of course, and Chief keeping us safe. And Lake Community Action Agency, we're waiting on you to come in a little stronger with some rehab money to help rehab houses. They have some money, we shaking them down. Because we believe if you paint a few houses, renovate a few houses, we need that money happening in Carver Heights. So thank you all for being here, and we're going to break the ground. So board members, elected officials, please join us as we break the ground. And don't leave. We want to take more sophisticated gents after we do the first one. We want to take pictures with you as well. So please, partners of the CDC and Carver Heights, please come take pictures as we break the ground for this historic moment. Come on, commissioners, please come. Board members. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Chairman, this is such an exciting time today to be here with the Leesburg CDC. How do you feel about this? This has been a long time coming for you.
I'm excited about the opportunities and the possibilities for a new family, a new community. I believe Carver Heights will be better by the work of the CDC. I think it's spurring development in Carver Heights, and I'm just looking forward to families moving here and enjoying a brand new house.
Commissioner Berry, we're so happy to have you a part of this event. How does this make you feel with the development of the Carver Heights community?
I'm very proud, being that this is my neighborhood that I grew up in, and I am so fortunate to be a part of this, and I thank you.
They're building about 3 to 4 houses on this very ground. How do you feel about the housing development?
I say it's already in progress, so let's do it.
Well, it's just a great day for Leesburg because doing the infill lot construction is a really key component of redevelopment. It helps encourage new growth, helps invest in older areas that need new investments. So it's a great day to see it. And what do we got? Like 1, 2, 3, 4 lots, all right here in the area. So it's a good thing. Good deal.
Great news. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today. How do you feel about the county involvement with today's project?
Well, we're super excited to be part of this. I mean, we play a small part in it. A lot of the heavy lifting is done by other folks, including John Christian, of course, Pastor Christian. He's done an amazing job. But we're happy to be a part and hopefully make home ownership a reality for the new residents that will be moving into these homes once they're constructed.
Sandra, we're so glad to have you here this morning. How does this make you feel as the housing director for the city of Leesburg?
I believe this is a phenomenal opportunity for the city of Leesburg to have new development. That's part of our redevelopment efforts in the Carver Heights community, and I think it's just the beginning of a renaissance for this whole community.
As a board member, how does this make you feel to be a part of this event this morning?
It makes me feel very proud because this area of Leesburg needs this redevelopment, and I am so proud that the CDC is a part of this and spearheading this. Also, I know that my mother and father would be proud to know that this happened today.
Awesome. You made mention of your father in your speech that he used to build houses. So I guess that's coming around 360 for you. How does that make you feel knowing that your father used to build houses within this community?
Again, I feel proud because my father built most of the houses in Woodland Park in that area. And so when he passed away, he was a retired builder, but we're just proud of the accomplishments that he made in this area and around Leesburg.
So, hi, Mr. Jerome. We're so happy to have you here today at the Leesburg CDC Groundbreaking. Can you please tell us about the houses that you plan to build?
Well, first of all, it's just an honor to be a part of this division that John Christian has for the CDC program. Our homes are going to be the affordable homes, which is going to be the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, anywhere between 19 to 2,200 square feet home, block construction. Our goal is to try to get in within 8 to 9 months to where they'll be able to live in these homes. And it's just an honor to be a part of this program.
We hope that you enjoyed our coverage today of the Leesburg CDC Groundbreaking. For more information, go to the leesburg.gov website or the CDC website. And look forward to more news on LakeFront TV.